All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speak to the Beak. I am Tim the Ferds. We're out here recording late Sunday night. I am joined by Keith Hernandez. Keith, it's a little past our normal recording time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
it's Mother's Day.
That's right.
What are we gonna do?
Gotta make mom happy. There's nothing you could really
Exactly.
do about it. So, and Keith was at the Met game before, so you
That's
just gotta
also. Yep.
wait it out. But that means we have a lot of content from over the weekend that we can now
Mhm.
put into the podcast. So I guess there's a bright side to it. Once again, Mets had rain at their game, but luckily for Keith, they didn't have to rain out the game. I thought they were going to put the tarp on at one point
I
because
it
that
started
one
to
at
pick up.
bat with I forgot who it was,
I think it's
left-handed
David
hitter.
Peralta.
No, it wasn't David Peralta. It was like some skinny guy. I don't know his name. He was like a he had like a 15 pitch at bat, and I was just like, oh my god, this is never gonna end. But yeah, so that's kind of what Keith's day was like. But like I said, we're out here on a Sunday night because we're out here trying to deliver content. So
Hmm.
before we give you said content, the usual things that we're gonna need you to do. Number one, beakbrands.com. Check out the website, written articles, podcast is there, good stuff. All right, you can find my waiver wire column there, which drops every single Thursday. Pretty good fantasy nuggets besides the nuggets that me and Keith give. So just throwing that out there. Number two, at Beak Brands, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All of our content is posted there. We've been seeing a lot of Twitter people on the fantasy train. So if you're a Twitter listener, thank you for that. You can obviously interact with me and Keith there as well. I'm at Tim Ferdinand. He's at Keith Hernandez. Two Z's at the end there. Keith, maybe we should put a little handle thing below our names.
We're gonna have to put handles under our names because
Yeah.
I got different handles for Instagram and Face and for Twitter. So.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. For Twitter, Keith is more of a retweeter than an actual tweeter.
Oh yeah.
So if you find him, you're in good shape there. Like Meek Phil and that other account you follow are amazing. Number three would be if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your friends. The huge. Spotify, Apple, same thing. Rate, review, follow, etc., etc. All right. So that's kind of what we got, and obviously you guys know we try to take care of our loyal listeners. So if you got a topic you want to be discussed, or there's a team you want to hear more about, me and Keith can do that for you. Which is, I think, why we find ourselves talking a lot about the Oakland A's. Not today though, so don't worry, not today.
That's too
Um,
much.
so Keith, if you're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
I'm all in.
All
Let's go.
right, that's why he's here, people. So more no hitters, more
Yeah.
John Means and Wade Miley. So before we even get into it, I'm gonna give Keith some props here on the John Means coming back to All Star form train. He was on it all the way back before we started the season during our divisional previews. He was throwing out all the John Means love. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really buy it too much. I was like, he plays for the Orioles. They kind of suck. Like, he was bad last year. He was bad the second half of the year before that. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. And now this guy's out here just mowing people down. The Mets get to face him on Tuesday, I believe. He pitches for
Yep.
the first time since he threw the no hitter. So congrats to Keith there. On being on the John Means train. He also has him in our fantasy league, so that's unfortunate because
And
I don't
I
have him.
drafted him too. I didn't even pick him up in waivers.
He drafted him.
That's how much faith I had in him this
He
year.
drafted him. And then Wade Miley no hit the Cleveland Indians. The Indians have now been no hit for the second time in the past 30 days because their offense is very bad. So Keith, which one was more influential? Your love for John Means to inspire him to throw the no hitter, or Wade Miley's Hulk sticker tattoo?
I think it has to be the Hulk tattoo. No matter how much I love John Means, that Hulk tattoo definitely is what drove Wade Miley to that no hitter. I think what's even crazier is that both of those games were almost perfect games.
Yep.
John Means was ruined by a strikeout pass ball, and then Wade Miley, someone made an error. I think Ahmed Rosario reached out an error or something. Shout out Ahmed Rosario. 'Cause he's the reason. He's the reason why the Reds got their first run in the ninth inning. So it was runners on first and second, no outs, top of the ninth. I forgot who was hitting, but he had a dribbler back to Manuel Clase, who was pitching. Clase fields it, he's like, so it's a strike to second base, looking to turn a double play. Ahmed Rosario is playing shortstop. Ahmed Rosario used to be the everyday shortstop for the Mets. The Indians have been throwing him out there in center field almost every single day. I'm pretty sure he forgot how to play shortstop and forgot he had to cover the bag because he was standing pretty much in left field. And the ball went straight to second base, and Ahmed Rosario was like nowhere close to the bag, and the ball went into the outfield and a run scored, and they kept the inning going. It would have been runner on third with 2 outs if they were able to turn that double play.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing with Rosario. It was like, yeah, eventually he might come around to hit, but like his defense is always gonna be like lackluster, I guess, to be nice about it. Yeah. And I'm not surprised that he's making mental errors like that, but. You would think you're in the major leagues, doesn't matter what position you play, you would know if the ball's hit, you got to run somewhere, but I guess not.
It's year 4.
Yeah. Also, that happened with Lindor.
Yeah.
When they went to go steal second and the ball went to left field, the left fielder was just like chilling 80 feet away, like, I don't got to back up the whatever.
David Peralta was just sitting there.
Yeah, I
don't know what he was, and the same thing with the center fielder. I don't think the second baseman went to go back up either. But it was weird. The ball kicked off of after it hit the shortstop's glove, kicked off of his foot, and that's how it sent to the left field.
Well, no, the center fielder was running in. You saw him, but then he had to make a sharp cut. He was never going to get there in time.
He was never getting there.
Yeah,
it was a great read by Lindor. He was watching that the whole way. That was so electric. I had just gotten to my break, and our break room's in the Metropolitan Grill up on the second deck in the left field corner.
Okay.
So I'm getting down to my seat right in front of the glass, and I see Lindor sprint for second. I see the ball kick into the outfield, so I stood and just put my hands up, watching him run around the bases.
Keith was ready for it.
Yeah.
Keith was ready for it. But back to our no-hitters, right? So, here's a question for you, a little analytical talk.
Yeah.
Are the 3 true outcome guys, and if you don't know what that means, baseball for noobs here, walk, strikeout, home run. Those are the 3 true outcomes. You can... If you want to know more about that, you can follow Brian Kenny on Twitter, and I'm sure he will kill a lot of your brain cells. Are those guys producing like more no-hitters? Because I feel like they're a lot more common in the past couple of years than they have been even when, like, the early 2000s.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Indians really only got 2 of those guys on their team with Franmil Reyes and Eddie Rosario.
That's
like,
true.
Jose Ramirez is like, he's usually around 320, 330 in terms of batting average. Even Cesar Hernandez is usually like 270, 280 hitter. He's a pretty good contact hitter. The rest of them are just guys that just can't really hit. Like, they had Austin Hedges hitting 9th that day. I don't think he has ever hit over 180 in the season.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
It's not a good look. No.
That's not a good look.
His defense is keeping in the majors. But, yeah, the Indian team just can't hit. And it's been a problem forever for them, no matter who's on their roster.
Yeah. They haven't been able to hit for, like I said, Travis Hafner days, baby. That's it. That was the last time they could hit. But no, I mean, I agree because, I mean, if you guys listen, you kind of know where I stand on analytics. Like, I can't stand some of them. Like, some of the information is helpful. But, like, the whole swing for the fence thing, like, every at-bat, like, I can't stand it. I hate it.
Yeah, well, I think that all that launch angle stuff is starting to die down.
Well, guys are pitching up in the zone now. You can't get to it.
Well, yeah, guys are pitching up in the zone now. But I saw this graphic on Mike Trout of his launch angle from, like, 2015 to this year. So, 2015, 16, 17, and 18, he was about gradually increasing from 15 to 19%, or whatever, 15 to 19 degrees in terms of launch angle. In 2019 and 2020, he was at 22 and 24 degrees in launch angle. This year, he's off to the best start of his career, and his launch angle average is like 9.5 degrees. I think more guys are starting to focus on just hitting the ball hard.
You just need. That's what I was gonna say. You just need hard contact. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
I think Mike Lowe was talking about it. It's on MLB Network's YouTube page.
oh, okay. Well, that's
It was
good.
like
Yeah.
it was like a 2 minute segment. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's good. They actually had a debate the other day. It was like Brian Kenny, Sean Casey, and is it Dan O'Dowd? It might have been Dan O'Dowd.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and they were talking about because Brian Kenny was saying how like, because they were talking about getting rid of the shifts, like, because guys like can't hit the opposite way. And Brian Kenny's like, oh, well, you can just tell them to hit the opposite way. And Sean Casey's like, all right, well, obviously they don't do that. Like, they're just not going to do it. Like, they've been not doing it for years. So they said, just play traditional baseball. And then Brian Kenny was like, oh, but you're rewarding the guys who aren't as good as DJ LeMahieu or whatever at, like, spraying the ball over. And Sean Casey's like, how many DJ LeMahieu's are in the league? Like, 2? 3?
Yeah.
Like, how many guys bat like 335 and can hit the ball all over the place?
It's like him, McNeil, and
like, I'm sure there are a couple other guys, but like for the most part,
like David Fletcher.
Like,
those are the only 3 guys.
So ridiculous. But what Sean Casey was saying, like the amount of times he's seen like hard hit balls right up the middle, line drives caught because there's a guy standing behind second base. Like, why are you playing there? That's not a shift. That's just like you're standing in the wrong spot.
Exactly.
So I do think that the 3 true outcome guys are producing more no-hitters because, like you said, I mean, there's a lot of guys who are swinging for the fence, and it's tough. Like, yeah, you're going to get 1 or 2 a game, but no one's on base probably.
Exactly.
But no, we had 2 no-hitters, so that's 4 on the season total.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. I know.
That matches the total from the last 2 seasons combined, I think.
It's only May 9th.
It's only May 9th.
So Albert Pujols got released, Keith.
Yeah, that's some big news.
Big news.
Surprising.
So before we get into his stats and all that other stuff, how surprised were you, number 1? And 2, do you think he ends up anywhere?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, first of all, I was shocked when the news came out. It's totally caught me off guard. So he had set a precedent before with, guys over, 30 years old not getting long-term deals. He froze the free agent market. That's already set. Now he set another precedent with releasing a superstar at the end of their deal, because now everyone's going to be doing it. Cano's next.
Yep.
I don't even know.
We were texting about this the other day.
Miggy's coming up. Yeah, we were texting. It's gonna be Cano, Miggy, all these guys. Lindor and Tatis in
eventually
10 years are probably gonna get released. It's gonna be the same thing. It's not how you treat a legendary player like Albert Pujols, though. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I know there was that report that he got into a fight with Joe Madden, and Joe Madden said that's not true.
I saw that before, that he got into a fight with Joe Madden. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Joe Madden does not manage the way Albert Pujols has been used to his whole career.
Yeah. Well, I saw a lot of funny tweets talking about how Tony La Russa's salivating in the White Sox dugout waiting for Pujols to come home.
They said that he said in a press conference that there's no room for Pujols on the stacked White Sox team. Yeah. Where would they play him? He would just be a pinch hitter.
Yeah. Well, who's DHing for them? Isn't Abreu playing first?
I guess. Yeah, I can pull up their lineup real quick.
And they don't have to DH Grandal anymore because they don't have McCann there. Oh, but I forgot they have the Yerminator now.
Yeah. Let's see. White Sox.
Yeah, so he'd have to be a bench bat. But yeah, I know. I think he'll probably just end up signing with the Cardinals at some point. Or if nobody signs him within the next month or 2, he's gonna announce his retirement.
Yeah.
And then the Cardinals will sign him for 1 day. He will play 1 game at first base. He's gonna have like a David Wright farewell, where he plays 4 innings, try to get a hit. Good luck. And you call it a career. And it's gonna be really sad to see him, finish up like this. But I mean, it's no hidden thing that he's been brutal the last 5 years.
Yeah, especially compared to Albert Pujols' stand. This year has been really bad. It's been like $1.98.
Yeah, I mean, the whole 10
Mercedes
years,
has been DHing pretty much for the White Sox every day, except Jake Lamb got one against Zach Plesac a week ago.
Yeah.
So
it's because I mean Yerman, I think he's a catcher, but he can't catch.
yeah.
So
they have three. They're pretty much. They have three catchers. They have Mercedes. They have Zach Collins, who starts when Grandal doesn't start. They have three catchers, I guess, technically on their on their roster. So yeah, Pujols would have to be a bench bat for them. But no, I mean it's kind of crazy that they like released him like that.
Yeah.
Do you think it was like to clear more time for Ohtani to play? He was already kind of playing every day, but like maybe get him in the field a little bit.
Ohtani was already playing. It's definitely that, and Jared Walsh too. Jared Walsh has been going off.
He has been, yeah.
And they got him at first. He's Jared Walsh is another former two-way player.
Yeah.
And except they gave up on him.
Yeah.
Because he's not nowhere close to as good as a pitcher as Ohtani. I think we were talking about this earlier in the week that I had to apologize for my Ohtani.
Yeah.
My doubts on Ohtani, but like I said before, my doubts on Ohtani were on the pitching side, not on the hitting side. The hitting side, I said he's a beast. I said he should be a full-time hitter, outfielder, DH, whatever he wants to be.
He's been good everywhere, though.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been pretty good everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, the start against the Rangers, he got rocked in the first inning, but then he came back and he was fine.
Yeah.
And then the start against the Rays, he walked like 6 guys through 5 innings, but he's also unhittable. So like the walks didn't matter.
Yep, I know.
So as long as he's healthy, it doesn't matter.
He's like one of those guys where if like he's your number 3 starter, you're in great shape because his stuff is electric when he like is on point. You're not gonna hit him.
Yeah. Only problem is they're in last place. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they do this every year where they're like, we're just gonna pay like 4 dudes a gross amount of money, and everyone else on our team sucks.
Yeah.
They try the same strat. Like, I could not even name their 5 starting pitchers. It's Dylan Bundy, Ohtani, Griffin Canning.
What's Heaney's first?
Andrew Heaney.
Yep.
I don't know who that last guy is.
I don't know who the last guy is. Oh, Jose Quintanilla.
Oh yeah, he pitched today. I saw him before on MLB
he
Network.
Gets lit up. He has like the 3rd highest strikeouts per 9 this year. But he gets lit up every time he goes out there. It's literally I saw someone say he either gets it's either an earned run or a strikeout.
Pretty much.
Every pitch he throws, yeah.
He's like the 3 true outcomes guy for pitcher.
For pitchers.
But some numbers on Pujols, right? So, 298 career batting average, which is a shame because that should be way higher than that. Over 2,000 RBIs, 3,200 plus hits, 667 home runs. Just in his time in St. Louis, OPS over 1,000, 331 batting average, 408 home runs and 1,900 hits. That's pretty much a Hall of Fame career right there. If you just count the Cardinals years only, 400 home runs, like, and a 331 average. I mean, that might be able to get you in. But like we said before, he's only hitting a .198 this season. So if you had to pick a team that he ended up with, if he did end up somewhere, it's not the Cardinals, like an actual team.
Ooh.
Where would you think he ends up?
I don't know. That's maybe the Marlins are like, or he goes to the Tigers. He's good friends with Miggy.
Yeah, it's true.
What's the point of having 2 40-year-olds who can't hit anymore?
I saw that. It was like a meme. You know how this is going to end, and it was Mike Piazza and Frank Thomas in an Oakland A's uniform. Yep, yes. There it is. Got to sneak the Oakland A's in there every single podcast for no reason.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we got in Albert Pujols there. So if he doesn't sign somewhere, definitely first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, he's a lock to get in.
Yeah, lock.
If you look at his numbers, he's up there with some of the greatest all time. So let's move on to the pitching side of the ball here. Josh Hader, fastest reliever ever to 400 career strikeouts. His whip this season is .771, which is just ridiculous. And since he broke out, he has a 16 K per 9.
Yep.
So, and ever since, the reason I want to bring Hader up here is not because of the strikeout thing, even though it's a nice accomplishment. Oh, look at that. Orlando in the background.
Surprise visit from my dad.
So if you don't know, we have a fun fact about the inside of Keith's house there. You got Keith Hernandez, and you got Orlando Hernandez. So you got El Duque and a star first baseman. So he only needs to have like 15 more kids for a full roster of Hernandez's.
My first son's gonna be named Felix.
There you go. That's a good one.
There.
Yeah, add to the pitching staff there.
Get it going, exactly.
But anyway, Josh Hader. So
Yeah.
when he first broke out, I feel like he was one of the first guys they did like the super reliever thing with. Because the first year he was on my fantasy team, and I was like obsessed with this man. Because every time we went out there, it was like 3 innings, he struck out like 8 guys. It was like stupid. So do you think, because there were other guys before him, but I feel like he made it like popular to be like, you might not be a starting pitcher and you might not be like the full-time closer, but you are like the literal high leverage, like super reliever, like Seth Lugo. And
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, guys like that. Do you think he started that trend?
Definitely, yeah. Because I think if you went more than 1 inning as a reliever, it was as a mop-up role.
Yeah.
Like, that was it, or your team was up like 10 runs. Yeah, he's a super reliever, and he started that trend. Seth Lugo is a super reliever, like you said. He doesn't want to accept it, but he is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more guys. There's like all these minor league systems are just filled with guys that throw 100 and don't know what to do with it. And most of them are trying to be starting pitchers, and they're gonna not make it as a starter, and they're gonna end up getting moved to the bullpen. So if you have the stamina and you figure out something with how hard you throw and how your pitches move or whatever, there's gonna be super relievers on every single team, at least one, but in the next 5 years.
I agree. Because that's what the Dodgers were doing with Urias until they finally put him in the rotation. Like, he was another guy. He'd come out, throw 3 innings, you couldn't touch him, and then Jansen would get the ball and the game's over.
Exactly.
Like, so there's guys like that, like, around the league that are just like, they bring him in, it's like, what do? Like, you can't hit him. It's pretty much like they're bringing in a starter. Like,
exactly.
I feel like that's what they wanted Chapman to be when he first came over from Cuba, and he, like, wasn't going to be a starter. And they were trying to use him as like a multiple inning reliever guy, but he just didn't have the stamina for it. Like, because he was maxing in the first inning, and not the second inning. Like, he could have been the first one, but
and that would have been insane.
That would have been it. That would have been scary.
It would have been scary
because that's when he had no control, and he was like about to kill Prime Andrew McCutchen every time they played the Pirates.
Yeah, but now, I mean, he throws 20 pitches and he's done. He doesn't even have to throw 20 pitches in an inning. He never even gets past like 10.
Yeah.
So
as long as he's near the plate, that's it.
Exactly.
But we'll have to have a comment. I was gonna say about super relievers, like guys like Josh Hader. If you think moving the mound back,
I hate that now.
I know. So we can go on some of those rules, like you can only throw over the first base like 2 or 3 times in the minor league. Like that's stupid. And we'll talk about those potential rules as we get deeper into the season, because me and Keith just hate every single one of them. But let's get to our last topic before we hit some fantasy stuff, and before we actually a new thing today we'll tell you about later. Just throwing that out there. The Mets had a raccoon quote-unquote incident, and Jacob deGrom left his start today with more tightness or soreness or whatever you want to call it.
Lower back tightness now.
He's going to get an MRI, which means he's going to end up on the IL. But let's talk about Lindor and McNeil first. There wasn't actually a raccoon there, was there, Keith?
Nope, and it was an argument between 2 frustrated players that needed to happen. Both guys were struggling offensively, and then it started to get to them on the field, and they had a couple balls to go in between them. Couple plays where McNeil cut off Lindor and stopped the play from happening. So whatever, they got all their anger out. Lindor hit a game-tying homer. McNeil came out there the next day and hit a 2-run homer. Both of them, like Lindor's on a 4-game hitting streak now. McNeil's got a hit the last 2-3 games. So these are 2 guys who have to come around and are starting to come around. And it's just something that needed to happen. I don't care. Like, I think Lindor handled it fine, because if you dismiss it, then people are going to keep asking about it. And people are going to try to dig. The way, I don't know why everyone freaked out with that story because the way he did it was like, just laugh it off because it happened and they're good now and everything's fine.
Yeah.
So,
See, I just don't like
there's
the
no
play he got mad at. He got mad at
yeah
him, like when McNeil runs up the like. If McNeil actually fields that ball, do you think he's gonna throw that guy out? There's no way in hell that he's
no.
gonna make that play.
It's just that McNeil. I guess he was mad that McNeil shouldn't have even run over there.
But they're in the shift. Like he's
Yeah.
already on that side. He's like even with second base. So if he doesn't
Mhm.
run at it, you're like, what is this guy doing, standing there? And if he
Yep.
runs at, hey, like he's in no man's land. And it's not just with the Mets. Like you see that all the time with guys in the
All the
shift
time.
where they don't
And
know where to be because like there's too many dudes right next to them.
and Lindor talks about so much that he hates the shift.
Yeah.
So
Well, because if you have
if
someone
it,
like, because VR's been playing third for the Mets, for example, right? Like,
mhm.
VR and Lindor can cover the entire side of the field without a shift. They don't need anyone else there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know.
That's how Kevin Kiermaier got hurt. Matt Chapman
Yeah.
was covering second base because of the shift on a steal, and Kiermaier got his hand, like, pinched in between Chapman's kneecap and the ground on a
Yeah.
head first slide. Yeah, not good. Not good right there.
Not good.
So, what do you think would be worse? If McNeil and Lindor didn't figure it out, or if deGrom goes down for, I don't want to say significant, because I think he's been dealing with this forever, I feel like. It just always crops up sometimes.
Yeah.
But if he misses a couple of starts this time around instead of one.
I think if he misses 2, it's not even a big deal.
Okay.
It would be even less of a big deal if Carrasco didn't get pushed back again. I don't know what's going on there.
Told you I didn't trust that, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be it will be insane if Syndergaard comes back before him.
Yeah, that would be insane. He's getting put out for a rehab assignment. He's on my fantasy
Yeah,
team sitting on
him
the IL.
Him and Lugo are about to go back out there, so it'll be a sight to see. But yeah, I think even if deGrom only missed 2 starts, if Lindor continued to hit 180 and McNeil continued to hit 210 for
That
the
would
next
not be
2-3
good.
weeks,
Yeah.
it would not be good.
Yeah.
No way.
I agree. So let's get to our fantasy part of our show here, called Who's Your Randy, in honor of Randy Arozarena, and adding random guys off the waiver wire here, / Pedro Martinez, Who's Your Daddy. So, who went first last week, Keith? I think I took both last week because that's what we've been doing. I took the series.
Yes.
Yeah, I was pumping Lou Trevino last week again. Still, he's this guy. His roster percentage went down. That's not my guy this week. But people, what are we doing? The guy blows one save against Toronto and they want to panic. Like, yo, Toronto's been smacking everybody around. All right, so actually, no, you go first because you got the
I
pick.
go first.
Yeah, you go
Yes.
first. I was on
Thank
a roll
you.
there. I'm sorry. With
It's all good.
Lou Trevino just gets me going, I guess. I don't know.
Everybody in the A's gets you going. All right, so I'm just gonna go with Wade Miley. I mean, he's still only owned in 45% of leagues. He had a huge spike because he threw a no hitter. Even without that no hitter, he's been pitching phenomenally. He's got an ERA of 2, a WHIP of .75. He's 4-2, so wins don't matter in real baseball, but in fantasy baseball, wins matter. So he's getting wins when he goes out there. He's going deep in the games. He's pitching about 6 innings pretty much every time he goes out there. Not a big strikeout guy, but he's not walking people. He's not getting up hits. So if you're playing in a league where you're getting negatives for hits and walks and stuff, and for earned runs, he's not doing too much of that. So you should be good. He should be like a solid back of the rotation guy for you.
Yeah, and I feel like Miley's always been one of those guys where when he's healthy, he's good. The problem with him is that he's never healthy.
Yeah.
Never. But he's available, and he's probably available in a decent amount of leagues. I dropped my cell phone. I was looking up stats. He's available in a decent amount of leagues, so he's a good pickup for sure. He actually almost made the column on Thursday. And I'm mad that he wasn't on it because if he would have thrown a no-hitter. I was torn between him and Domingo Germán, and I put Germán on there because his roster percentage. I know. His roster percentage was higher, and he was about to be over the threshold. So I'm like, let me put him on there now before I lose the chance to do it. And then, of course, Miley goes out and throws a no-hitter. I'm just like,
No-hitter
you got to
next
be
time.
kidding me. So my guy, I actually wrote about him as well. Josh Rojas, plays for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So a couple reasons why I like this guy. Number one, he's now playing every day, so can't beat that for a waiver wire ad. Number two, qualifies for second base, shortstop, and outfield, so he can help you in a variety of different places. He's batting .421 over his past 7 games with an OPS over 1,000. So yeah, sign me up for that. Like, hitters I'm willing to ride the hot hand with, and he definitely qualifies for that. He made the column last week. If his rostership doesn't go up above 50 again for this week, he might make it a second time because he is like scorching hot.
Yeah, dude is a machine. I mean, he's the only guy hitting for the Diamondbacks this series against the Mets. So pick him up if you need a hitter in any of those positions.
You see, they did a little feature. Oh, actually, you were at the game.
Yeah.
So SMY did a feature about the Diamondbacks uniforms. How like in 2017 they switched it to like that dark gray, and then they went back to the light gray because they realized that was moronic. And I'm like, I didn't even notice they went back to the light gray. That's how irrelevant their dark gray uniforms were. Like, I didn't even notice they were gone. I know. So our new part of our fantasy segment is if you play Beat the Streak, we're going to give you some picks for Monday, like when you listen to this, the Monday of. And if you do not play Beat the Streak, it's a lot of fun because you never get past, like 12 hits because God forbid that, like when Fernando Tatis is playing your local middle school team, he gets 1 hit off the kid who's 12 years old, all right? So it's infuriating, but it's a fun little challenge. What you need to do is you have to pick a guy every day to get a hit. You could also take 2, but you could pick a guy every day to get a hit, and you're going to try to break the 56 consecutive game hit streak record, which will never be broken in real life because everyone's trying to hit too many home runs, and now, guys, everyone throws 100, so it's tough to get those hits. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you our 1 pick each of a guy we would take for the Monday games. So I guess since it's your day to go first, Keith, you just keep going. So who do you got for Monday?
I'm rocking with JD Martinez against the Orioles. I think who I said pitching? Jorge Lopez, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Jorge Lopez. Dude's got an ERA of like 6.5. They're playing at Baltimore.
Hitter-friendly park.
Hitter-friendly park. He has crushed the Orioles, and he is on fire. I think he's hitting 340 now. Yeah, that's like a lock.
Yeah, so normally when I'm on Beat the Streak and I'm like, I don't know who that pitcher is, I pick against them every single time because that means they're not good. So my pick for tomorrow, I like your pick, is Nick Castellanos against Mitch Keller of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He has an ERA of 6.29. Castellanos in his career is a 300 hitter against Keller. The Reds put up a lot of runs, and he's batting .316 this season, Castellanos. If you follow me on social media, I'm obsessed with this guy after screaming in the Cardinals' face. So, like, anytime he has a good matchup, I can't resist not taking him just because I like him. If you want my unbiased pick, it would be Fernando Tatis against the Rockies at Coors Field. You could pretty much, if you want to play Beat the Streak, that's a big strategy of mine. Anyone playing at Coors Field who's hot, just give me them. Because, it's always run fest over there. So for me and Keith, we'll go JD Martinez and Nick Castellanos, and we'll see who gets a hit.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully both of them get a hit, but we'll see who gets a hit. But, all right, Keith, let's wrap it up here. Series of the week. Who do you got and why?
Yeah. So I'm going with the Blue Jays and the Braves. Braves are starting to heat up. Blue Jays are like still sitting around 500. I mean, same thing with the Braves. The Braves are under 500. They're heating up. They're beating up on the Phillies right now. They're gonna finish.
I was gonna say, last time I checked, Nola gave up like 5 runs through like 2 innings.
I think it's still 5-1 right now.
Let me check.
It is.
Okay.
5-1 in the middle of the 8th. So that game's pretty much over.
Yeah.
Unless Rhys Hoskins tries to play savior again. The Phillies have played 3 straight Sunday night games.
Yes, they have.
And back-to-back weeks, McCutchen hit a leadoff home run.
Yes, he has. Matt Vasgersian made that very clear.
But but the Blue Jays got some good pitchers going. Braves haven't announced who's going out, but Robbie Ray's been pitching well so far, 3.14 ERA. Ryu's gonna pitch that next game on Wednesday. So they got two of their big guys going out there. So hopefully they can hang in there. It's gonna be a run fest because the Braves look like they got their bats coming around. So yeah, should be fun.
I'm a big Robbie Ray guy, as you know.
Yeah.
So anytime that he gets to pitch in a series, I'm very excited. That's how much I like Robbie Ray. I actually saw him pitch against the Mets one time, like early on in his career.
When he was on the Diamondbacks?
Yeah. And my dad was like, "Oh, I kind of like this guy." And I'm like, "It's my boy Robbie Ray.
I love him."
I've loved him for quite some time. My series of the week is going to be A's and Red Sox. And you're probably saying the A's again? And I'm saying yes, the A's again. And that's because both the Red Sox and the A's have been scorching hot. They both have over 20 wins. I know how the A's have done it, and like how me and Keith have stated numerous times on this podcast, we're not really sure how the Red Sox are doing it besides just out-hitting people. So it'll be exciting to see these two teams go at it. Keith knows I'm a big Blue Jay guy. He got first pick. They were in consideration for my series of the week. That's okay, because I really wanted this series because it gave me another excuse to talk about the Oakland A's. And now that the Oakland A's they've been hot and they've stayed hot, I really hope that they make me look smart and go to the World Series so that all the, smack talk I got when I picked them for my AL, pick, oh, man, you'll never hear the end of it. Not Keith, just the people listening to this. You'll be subjected to it every episode from here until the end of time. So
it's all fun and games until the A's trade their best hitter for a
star
pitcher, and then they can't hit in the playoffs.
That's what the A's do, I know. But no, listen, in all seriousness, the A's and the Red Sox are a good matchup for one another. They're both exciting.
Yeah, they got the two best records in the MLB right now.
That's right. So that's why it's my series of the week right there. So look, we're about 37 minutes in, which is a little bit longer than we've been running on these. But we had some good topics for this week's episode, not going to lie. So look, here's what we need to do before we preview next week's episode. BeakBrands.com. Go there. Listen to stuff. Read stuff if you can read. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow at BeakBrands. I'm at Tim Ferdinand. He's at Keith Hernandez, 2 Z's. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your friends. Same thing, Spotify and Apple users. Rate, review, follow, comment, etc., etc. So me and Keith will be back next week. We'll see what day, TBD. But it'll always drop on Monday. We will obviously monitor all the hot things going on throughout the week. But the whole moving the mound back thing might have to be something for next week because there's a lot of... It's getting some traction, which is making me upset. I just wish we would stop doing stupid things. But we'll save that conversation for next week. And the other thing I'm monitoring is Luis Castillo being absolute trash so far this year. He's been horrendous. I know. Suarez has been picking up a little bit of late because I have
hitting
him.
133 still.
I know. That's how bad he's been. And in his past... Actually, no. He had that one good game, 3 for 5. Over 3, over 3, over 4, over 4. So he kind of evened it out. He's... As of what is this? Last week, the recent news on him on the fantasy app. He entered last Sunday's game in a 1 for 31 slump, and he hasn't really added to it because he's 3 for 5, and then he took 4 straight offers. Yeah, not good. But hey, he's playing against Mitch Keller on Monday, so maybe he'll get a hit.
He's also been the worst defensive player in all the MLB this year because they haven't played shortstop.
Shortstop, yeah. But we talked about this with the Reds, and we could say this for next week, but he's such a good bat, when he plays third base. You have to play him, but they don't have a shortstop. But, all right, we digress. We'll save that for next week. We will monitor to the Cincinnati Reds. So, until next time, me and Keith are out of here. We'll see you next week.